Yo guys, so Bridger 2.1 dropped recently. I think it's like 2.1.5 now, but it brought Cream, which is a stand I actually wanted to see added into Bridger Western, and it got me thinking and feeling. We gotta run it back, I think, and do 5 more stands I want to see added into Bridger Western. Before we get into that, I'm trying to become the best EMXer around, and I need your help to do so. A like, comment, subscribe to the channel would help out tremendously. Let's get into the video. So, kicking things off, for the first stand I want to see added to Bridger Western is Red Hot Chili Pepper. Now this is quite the stand. There are a few abilities I'd like to see it bring, and the first one being the movement ability, and it's sort of like a passive, so the closer you are to civilization, like the town for example, the stronger and faster the stand performs with its abilities and its movement. So like for an opposite, if you're like by the witch's hut fighting, you'd naturally be at a disadvantage fighting there because there's no electricity or power running to that area. And obviously if you're fighting in the city, the faster, stronger, you know what I mean. And I feel like this passive should tie it to like all its moves. So as a stand, it's something you'll want to be closer to civilization, closer to the city, fighting people in the city. For its moves, I've got down it should have a dodge / movement ability that sort of looks like Zenitsu's Thunderclap and Flash. That's very fast in the city, but if you are fighting by the witch's hut or the fishing area, it's just slow. For its second move, I have a stun that depends on where you are for its stun duration. I think having a passive like that is quite in keeping with how the stands are made in this game. For our second stand, I have Trish's stand, Spice Girl. I'm quite surprised this has never appeared in the previous 2 videos I made about discussing stands I want to see in Bridger, but it is quite an interesting stand to give potential abilities for, because when I'm thinking of its softening ability, it reminds me a bit of Gear 5 Luffy manipulating like the floor beneath him when he's fighting Kaido or something. And for an ability I was conjuring up for Spice Girl, I put that it can make its user very soft, allowing you to reflect bullets, a bit like Stone Freeze, like spinning ability was. It'll be on the screen. Also, it'd allow you to be able to apply an effect onto objects like trees or a building for cover. So if someone's shooting you, or if you're getting ganged up on by like 3 people and you're inside like Moe's gun shop or something, the bullets will start reflecting off that wall onto other people, so it could be a very good counter-attacking stand. For our third stand I've got down currently, I have Wheel of Fortune, and I saw a couple of people saying in the comments of the last video saying that it'd be quite funny to have, and I agree wholeheartedly. But also being keeping with the game's theme and its time period being Steel Ball Run, Wild West era, I made it so instead of Wheel of Fortune being a car, it should be like a souped up compound V horse with a wagon that does all the same things that Wheel of Fortune does in the show, but obviously just a horse and wagon. I put down it should replace your horse as your main movement and be faster than your typical horse, since it is a roided up compound V'd horse, wagon, horse. Your main damage ability would be to shoot people with the wagon, dealing good damage, not the best but not the worst. Also when you do shoot them, you can set them ablaze, so it would be a counter to vampires. Instead of maybe bringing silver bullets, you could just use that stand. So yeah, it's alright. But for our next stand we have Man in the Mirror. Now, you know how I feel about teaming in Bridger Western. I think there should be changes to it, or at least something that stops it in a way. And I felt Man in the Mirror is a perfect stand to have to engage in 1v1s or even put people in a 1v1 arena. And as a Michael Jackson fan, I'm low-key biased to see it in the game. I don't really know what I should put down for many abilities it would have, but I just thought having the ability to send someone into the mirror dimension and have a 1v1 with them would be good, because I'm sick of teamers. But for our honorable mentions, I have White Album, At Chung Baby, and Highway Star. For a lot of stands I make with these videos, I always try and have them serve a purpose. So like Highway Star for example, I see it's a really good stand for bounty hunting. I as you can use the stand to track people with bounties very, very easily. So if you want to double down with the bounty hunting niche as your main way of grinding the game, getting moolah, then I think having a stand like that in the game would be quite cool. For actual baby, it can sort of be like your stealth stand, so you don't have to run the card that makes you invisible to ocular powers. You can just use that stand, and it could even tie in with the stand and make it even more strong. And then obviously like White Album, again like Wheel of Fortune can be another movement based stand, which I've noticed I do have a lot of movement based stands in all these videos. But anyway, it could have a lot of ice based attacks that can slow people within a certain radius of you and give you hyper armor or something, so it's a natural counter to guns, 6 pistols like in the show. And it'll need like golden experience or the world star platinum to just dunk on it with a barrage or something. But yeah, we're flying through this. But for our last stand today, we have Heaven's Door. And to be honest, I'm surprised it's not in the game, firstly, and I'm surprised I've not mentioned it yet. But I feel like a stand like this could be very, very creative with how the devs approach it. But with the way the devs operate these days, I don't think so. But for its abilities, I think you should be able to read into people like Rohan Good in the anime and find out their age, race, their cards, stand, and weapons. So I'm saying that I hate teaming, but if you are teaming, you have really good info on your opponent, your mate or something to go and kill. For its second ability I want to see for Heaven's Door is written commands. So pretty much you can buff people, even debuff a friend or foe, giving them more damage, less damage, slower movement, faster movement. And I feel like the devs can get very creative with an ability like this. They could have different other commands in the game, and with an ability like this, it's very in keeping with how the stand moves in the anime. But that is pretty much it, guys. So if you liked today's video and you want me to see me make another video like this, maybe for Bridger 2.2, then yeah, we'll see what stands get added. We could do another one. You know what to do. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you like it, because that's the thing now. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Peace.